Sorry, I know this one's really loved. Again, these are only my opinions. Please don't come for me. Let's talk about the worst books of 2025 that I read this year. Of course, these are my opinions alone, and these are all books that I read this year. That does not mean that they came out this year. The very first one that I read that I did not like was for a book club. I was supporting a friend. I do have to preface, I am not a fantasy, dark romance, girly, romanticy, girly, and that was Cross My Heart by Roxy Sloan. This is about a girl that goes to Oxford University trying to find out what happened to her sister, and there's like a dark romance. It just felt really flat to me. I didn't really care. Like I said, I'm not a dark romance girly, so if you loved it, I'm so happy for you. The next one I read was Breathe In, Bleed Out, and I had such high hopes for this book after reading Curse of the Reaper by Brian McCulley, and it's one of my favorite horror books of all time. Had such high hopes, and it did not. It was not met. This one follows a young woman who, after the tragic death of her fiance, her friends suggest like a wellness retreat at Joshua Tree, and then they start dying one by one. I think the pacing was just a little weird for me, and the way that it was revealed how they were dying, I didn't like that, but it could be for others. Another book that I had such high hopes for, and I hate to say it, but Bochica by Carolina Flores. Such high hopes. This is a gothic horror novel set in the 1920s, and it's haunted house trope about this girl whose mother died in this house 3 years prior, and she goes back to the house and she finds these journals that her mother had, and they're all very crazy journals, and she's trying to find out what happened to her mom and I guess the haunting. I just didn't like really connect with the characters. I was not buying like the romance that was happening, and I just did not care about what was happening. So, unfortunately, I found it boring, and I hate to say it. And the last book that I read that I did not enjoy this year was Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. I'm kind of scared to talk about this one because I know this one's very loved, and this book is very atmospheric and like a quiet intrigue, but for me it was too quiet and too atmospheric. Like I feel like nothing happened. This one follows a woman who goes in this deep sea excursion, and then she comes back to her wife, and obviously things have changed. Something happened to her down there in the water, and she's never been the same. But to me, I felt like nothing really happened. But it's one of those like very quiet, intriguing stories. But I just felt like I didn't know what I was reading. I felt like it was boring. Sorry, I know this one's really loved. That's it. Those were the four worst books that I read this year. My least favorite. Let's not say worst. My least favorite, but yeah, not too bad for 2025. Again, these are only my opinions. Please don't come for me.